In this video, I will do a complete walkthrough of Vapi's workflow builder. Previously on the channel, I've been building many different AI voice agents using a single prompt. This single set of instructions is excellent for building appointment setters, simple support systems, and even more complex voice agents that connect with multiple APIs. However, the scale at which we can continue to add to these voice agents does begin to decrease. My name is Brendan, and I've been creating AI agents for small to medium-sized businesses for almost 2 years at my agency, Inflate AI. I've used various tools to create automation workflows and more recently to develop AI voice agents. Vapi's workflow builder is a visual canvas enabling us to connect multiple prompts and add conditional logic to determine specific pathways and which way to go. Initially, using this will seem a bit daunting compared to a single prompt, although when we start to build more complex voice agents, a builder like this does make it far easier to manage and fix as they grow. And to give you a real example, here is a visual diagram we created for one of our clients requiring the setup of a single prompt agent. And now let's compare this to a diagram for one of our multi-prompt clients. As you can see, there is quite a significant difference in the scale of these voice agents. Recreating this diagram via a single prompt is incredibly difficult, and its reliability will undoubtedly be less than that of a more conditional approach. To illustrate how to build an agent using the new workflow builder, I'm going to create an inbound receptionist for an internet services company. This agent will include several flows for different types of requests, such as new business inquiries, outage problems, accounting issues, etc. Additionally, it will accommodate both new and existing customers, which means we're going to have 2 separate flows that respond differently to each of those categories. Each flow will communicate with various APIs to send information as well. If you want to access the Vapi workflow template I'm going to be creating in this video, you can join my school community, which is linked in the description. We've got a masterclass for Vapi, retail, voice flow, in addition to 40 plus AI agent templates. So come join our vibrant community. We've got many voice AI enthusiasts who can help answer any of your questions. So without further ado, let's jump in. So jumping right into it, this right here is Vapi.ai. If you've never touched Vapi before, you don't have a clue how to build an agent on Vapi, I do have plenty of other videos that do a bit more of a deep dive into actually using the Vapi platform, actually getting a bit of a better hand as to how to build these systems on here. But the purpose of this video will be to walk through specifically Vapi workflows and building an agent using Vapi workflows. So this right here is my Vapi dashboard, my Vapi account. So what I'm going to do right out the gate is click on create assistant. I'm going to create a brand new assistant just for this video and walk through, everything step by step as to how to get this workflows system up and running. So typically what you'd create is an assistant here. This is the very standard process. We can call this the internet service provider, and I'll just add YouTube here as well. We'll go ahead and just select the blank template. We're not going to be using any of these. Blank template and then create assistant. Once we've gone ahead and done that, we're going to land on this page right here, which is the standardized Vapi assistant builder. This is where we're going to be using your system prompts, doing all of your basic stuff here. And they've got all of the Vapi traditional settings here as well. Now, what we're going to do differently this time, as opposed to just building out our agent here, is go to the left-hand side of our screen where we've got the workflows tab. We're going to click into here, and this is going to open up a whole host of new options for creating with Vapi workflows. So I do have a couple of projects already in here that I was playing around with, but all you need to do is click on create workflow, the big button up here. It's going to open up this new workflow tab, enter the name of your new workflow. So we're going to call this, I'll just call it YouTube demo. You can call it obviously anything you'd like. It doesn't matter. Choose an assistant. Now this is really key. We're going to now connect this to the assistant that we just created. And so there you go. I just went ahead and selected the agent that I just created. It does say optional here, but I do recommend it. It gives you a little bit more settings later on to modify with. So we've selected it now and we'll hit create workflow. And so there you go. Pretty easy to get that going. You've already set up a Vapi workflows setup. So this is now connected to the agent that we set up previously, and we've got access to a canvas. So as you saw there, I can now move around, I can scroll, I can move. And what we've got is a really quite a different approach to what you might be used to in terms of just building an agent through prompting. We're now actually got a bit of a canvas to work with. If you've used a tool like VoiceFlow before, which I covered quite a bit on the channel, it's going to be a very similar system and a very similar setup for building because it is a canvas display. So right out the gate, I'm just going to walk through everything to do with building on the Vapi workflows platform. So on this canvas, you'll see that you sort of spawn in with and start with a start module here, start call. That's just where the call is initiating from, just helps you understand that. The next module is a say module. So it's the say step. This is for communicating any type of message. So we want to say something to the user, we're going to use this step. Now, if you go down and hover over the step that it provides you with and click on the plus button, what it's then going to prompt up is a whole host of other modules that we can use and connect to build obviously a more advanced agent to do something. And so we've got add a step, the say step, a condition step, gather, API request, transfer call, and end call. So pretty much what we're going to be using for the most part is the say, condition, gather, and API request step. They're going to be the key ones for creating our conditions, our flows, pathways, etc. And so I'll get back to using them in just a minute, but just to demonstrate exactly how this works, what we can do is actually just save what we've got at the moment, and we can hit start call at the top.
Say hello.
So right out the gate, it just said say hello. And the reason it just said say hello is that if we click into our step here, what we're using is an exact step. So it's just reading out the text exactly as we wrote it. Now, this is very different to how we would do it with any other method where we're just typing a prompt, because it's not reading a prompt at all. It didn't use AI to actually generate its response. And so if you are going to be using this for your first message, it's going to be incredibly helpful. You don't want it to be too different. You can just, obviously have this as your first message, but otherwise you can also swap it over to a prompt. So if you wanted it to be prompted, you can prompt everything here to, based on anything you want. Say hello. If we make that switch as well, and we do hit the save button and we give it another call, it should just say hello. So we'll give it a call.
Hello, what can I help you with today?
And so there you go. It said, hello, what can I help you with today? It obviously, went on a little bit more. That's what it would do as a prompt. And there you go. That was far better in that case. And the other thing you may have noticed is that right after that happened, so it didn't stay and wait for me to respond. If I tried to respond, it wouldn't have accepted it. And that's because we're really stripping back as to what we are, building here. This is not a single prompt agent. We aren't able to communicate to this as it stands, because it just ends. There's no further steps here. And so that just, hopefully you can really understand that we really are building this entire agent from scratch. So to get started in building out our demo for the internet services company, what I'm going to do is add a static first message. So we use the exact step, and I'm just going to type, hi, this is John from the internet company on a recorded line. Are you a new or existing customer? So we're going to use that as our first message. Like I said, this is an inbound receptionist, so I think it's okay for it to have a static first message. Doesn't need to be prompted. And there's also, a couple of other reasons why you would want to have an exact first message. One of them being a lot of the regulatory aspects as well. So mentioning that you are on a recorded line is very critical if you're recording the calls. And the other thing will also be mentioning that it's an AI agent. So in some jurisdictions, whether in the US, you're in Australia like me, sometimes you do actually have to mention that it's an AI agent. I do recommend it as well. So we could say, hi, this is John, an AI phone agent from the internet company on a recorded line. Are you a new or existing customer? And so that'll just begin the conversation from there. The next step will be to gather some information. So we aren't able to just capture information natively. We do need to actually, add in a step to do that. It's not just going to happen automatically. And so what we can do is add the gather step. And now we can start to add in some values that we want to capture from the previous step. And so at the moment, we simply want to identify if they're a new or existing customer and base that condition on the input that they've given us. So what we can type here is give it a variable, maybe we'll call it customer type. And then we want to type in essentially a prompt. So at the moment it's a description for capturing a bit of information. We essentially want to type in a prompt to determine two different pathways, which is they're either a new customer or they're going to be an existing customer. And so we can just type here, this is the type of customer. They are either a new or existing customer. In the type here, we can type enum. So we're not using a string. A string is just like a specific value. So that's not going to be helpful. A number is a number. Boolean is true or false, which potentially could work. But otherwise, we're going to be using enum. Enum is essentially an AI value. So it's just going to evaluate based on the description we've given us, based on a series of values we've given it, which one it should choose. So to make that make more sense, you see here we've got enum values. Enum values is essentially where we're going to be adding in the types of values that we want to be determining. So I've got this here, new and existing, or new or existing. So essentially this customer type is only going to be output as new or existing based on the prompt that we've given it and based on the values that we want it to output. We'll set that to required and hit save. And then once we've got that, Essentially, this will, no matter what, give us new or existing based on the information the client or the caller is giving us. And then what we can do is click on the plus button and add in a condition step. And this is really one of the most critical parts of the Vapi workflows, is that we can use a condition step to determine multiple different pathways. And so once we've added in that condition step, we do need to hover over it and click the plus button. And then we're going to add in some more steps for what we want to have happen next. So we'll just add in some stay modules. So we'll add in say based on one condition logic. And then what you'll notice is that if you come back to the condition step, you can click it again and add in some more logic. So we can have multiple different flows occur based on the gather step that occurred previously. So we can conditionally add in some logic by clicking on the logic pathway that it automatically generates. There's nothing that we can add in this step as per se, but we can add in the logic step. And it says follow this path if all, and then we just add some logic conditions. And so it's just using all of the gather variables that's happened previously. So we can go select field, customer type, and then it can just say equals, and then we can just add in literally our values. So we've got new right there. Customer type is equal to new. Come over here, all logic, customer type equal to existing. And we do just have to add some of these around that. So existing and new, two different pathways. And so there you go. We've conditionally added in a couple of different pathways based on what the user's input is. And we're going down that path. So we can then add in some specific text based on what they've given us. So we can just add in a prompt that says, greet the new caller to our company. That's all we want to do. They're a new customer. We want to greet them. And then we'll add in here, welcome back our existing customer. And there you go. We've got two prompts, welcoming them and greeting them. And that's it. So basically that should go down two different paths based on the condition that we give it right out the gate. So let's test if this works. We'll hit save once again and we'll give it a call.
Hi, this is John, an AI phone agent from the internet company on a recorded line. Are you a new or existing customer?
Hey, John, I'm a new customer.
Hi there. Thanks for calling. How can I assist you today?
So there you go. You saw it went down the pathway there for new customers based on the fact that I said I was a new customer. And there you go. You could also see the modules being highlighted as it worked down the flow. And that worked perfectly. That did exactly what we wanted it to. So for the next step in this flow, let's capture some information. So if we want to capture a first name, we want to capture an email, a phone number, all that type of information, we can simply do it using pretty much the exact same set of logic to do so. So greet the new caller to our company and also ask for their first name. We should, if they are an existing customer, have their first name. One thing that we could do is actually run an API request to find their first name, to find their details if you've got them within a CRM system. And so that's something that we can do as an API step. So we can click here, we can do API request, and we can essentially set up a condition to look up into the CRM. Okay, this is their phone number. They've said they're an existing customer. Let's try and find some of their information. Additionally, if we were to make this a bit more advanced and something that I won't cover right now, but something that you can do is essentially run an automatic detection based on if they're new or existing. And so we can look up their phone number. We don't even have to ask them, and we can actually just find their information and see if they're new or existing before asking them any questions. And so very simply, that's something that you can just do right out the gate, running the API request with the phone number. Although for the purpose of actually going down these two pathways, I haven't done that, but that is something that you can do and would work quite well. And something that we have done quite a few times with real clients. Essentially, as long as you've got those phone numbers uploaded in the CRM, you can just do exactly that. So we've added in and also asked for their first name. Now, hopefully, if that works, we'll move on to a gather step, which is just going to grab that first name. One of the populated values here is for capturing a first name. So we can just copy that. First name of the customer, type string, that's completely fine. And the output is required save. And there you go. We should now have the first name captured. And we can very simply move on to a second set of conditions. So we can just add in a condition here. And this is just going to be for capturing the first name. We can either add a condition or we can just read the first name to them. So, it also asks for their first name, collect first name. So what I might do instead is actually just capture the first name, and then we're just going to read it back out to them. So we'll do the say step, and then we can add in variables. Given that we're doing the say step after a gather step, we can insert variables here, and you'll see both these variables are here. So in the prompt, we could just say thank insert variable first name for providing their first name, or we'll just say name, and then we'll want to ask them for some more details about their job request or their the request in general. So once again, this is for an internet services company. We just want to capture some information as to why they're calling in. So please ask them why they are calling in today. And so now let's test this workflow.
Hi, this is John, an AI phone agent from the internet company on a recorded line. Are you a new or existing customer?
Hi, John. I'm a new customer.
Thanks for holding. Welcome to our company. May I get your first name, please?
Yeah, my name's Brendan.
Thanks, Brendan. What can I help you with today?
So perfect. There you have it. It worked exactly as we planned it to. Read the first message, captured that we're a new customer, did a nice prompt there to read it out to us and ask for our first name, captured the first name, and then read it out with the prompt using the variable perfectly as well. So once we've said this message right here, we can then essentially move on to capturing what they're calling in about. And so for this particular flow, given that it is a new customer, we're going to be tailoring it for that specifically. And so we could just type customer inquiry, and we could type this is the type of inquiry the customer is calling for. And then we'll just go to enum once again. And so there's a few different, values that are going to be associated with new customer inquiries. So this could be an account issue. They're trying to sign up for an account. They don't know how to sign up for an account. All stuff like that we'll do through an account issue. So then for these enum values, one of the values we might do is register. So this is for new customers, obviously this particular flow. And one of the things they may want to do is simply register. So we'll have a register flow for doing that. Another flow we might add is just for questions. So if they've just got questions, we can do that. So they want to register, they've got questions. So just for now, I'm just going to do register and questions as our two pathways. We'll set the output as required and hit save. We'll then once again come down to adding in a new condition step. We'll then add in brand new logic for this. So one step here, come back and add in another say step. I'm going to be going down two different paths, essentially based on the info previously in this step. So once we've created two brand new flows, we can now edit the logic. So all of the following conditions match, add logic, select field, customer inquiry, and then we're going to do equals, and we're going to add in here. We're going to type in register. And then for the other logic step, we're going to add in same thing, customer inquiry equals, and we're just going to do questions. And there you go. They're the two pathways that we set. Come back here, register, questions. And now one thing that we may also want to do is add a little bit more prompting. So it doesn't have a whole heap of context as to when to assign register or the questions value. So what we could say is assign the value register when the user would like to sign up for an account with us. And then we can say assign the value, and maybe we'll just add this questions when the user has any general questions about our services, and we'll just hit update. That'll make it a bit better. Obviously, as we start to build this and scale this, you will want to obviously focus in on those prompts and make them far better and make them actually work. But we'll see what happens in this case. Make sure the logic's there for register, add in a brand new prompt, or we'll just say thank them for their interest in our services. And then pretty much, we can go down that flow, whatever. We'll just do that for now. And then we can add in a prompt, and we can just say thank, or we can simply just say ask the user what their question is.
Hi, this is John, an AI phone agent from the internet company on a recorded line. Are you a new or existing customer?
I'm a new customer.
Hello. Thanks for calling. What's your first name?
Brendan.
Thanks, Brendan. What can I help you with today?
I just wanted to know what your prices were.
Got it. What's your question?
And then for our second step here, just for the instruction, what we can type is answer the user's question. Or what we could say is if the user has provided a question, please answer it. Otherwise, please ask them to provide a question. So pretty much we're adding in some logic here. At this step, we've just asked them, please ask them why they're calling in today. So we're just gonna ask them, why are you calling in today? And it's likely that they're just gonna say their question, at this part of the step. And so at the moment, we actually have no way of bringing the context from this say step over to this step. So pretty much as it stands, it's just gonna ask them, okay, what was your question after you've just said your question? And so it's not natural, it's a bit awkward, and it's not the best way to go about it. So what we can do and what we will do, we can go into the gather step and actually add multiple outputs. And so we've gathered the customer inquiries variable here, but we can also add in a brand new flow here as well. So pretty much we just want to get a summary of what they've just said, or we can just capture their request. So I can just call this request. This is what the user has requested. Set it as a string, output is required, and hit save. And then now we've got their inquiry type, and then we've just got their request in general, and then we can just add that in as a variable here. So what we can actually type is do a little bit more prompt engineering. So we just type user question, insert variable request. Well, it's gone down there, grab this request, delete that. And then if the user has provided a question, please answer it. Otherwise, please ask them to provide a question. And so now it's going to be a bit more dynamic, should be a bit smoother, and we'll give that a test run.
Hi, this is John, an AI phone agent from the internet company on a recorded line. Are you a new or existing customer?
Hey, I'm a new customer.
Hello, thanks for calling. What's your first name?
Brendan.
Great, thanks, Brendan.
Hey, I was just wondering what some of your prices were.
Sure. Could you specify which services you're interested in so I can give you the right pricing details?
So as you can see there, that did bring through the context in the last step there. From this step, as you may have noticed, it wasn't the best in reading out the secondary question here. So it thanked me for providing my name, but it didn't actually ask me to provide why I was calling in. So this is, very simply just a prompt issue. We need to just do some more prompting as to not please ask them, but pretty much you must ask them why they're calling in today. And then hopefully if it reads it out, it's a bit more natural. But as you can see, the main thing was that it brought through context through there, and it was able to, seemed natural. It didn't seem like it was jumping between steps. It just followed on from the last step. And so that's really the best way to bring through context, is to do a sort of a summary with a string. Or now I'll just go on and I'll just continue on this step here. So thank them for their interest in our services. So this is based on the condition that someone's interested in registering. And so just to really get you up to speed as to, how to build these agents in the workflow builder, I'm going to do sort of like a mock API request, sending some information to make.com. And so just show you exactly how to do it. Same sort of process as to the traditional Vapi builder and some of the other, webhook systems. Pretty much all we're going to do is capture some information using the gather step, and then we'll do an API request to send that information off. And I'll show you exactly how to do that as well. So we'll just start off, we'll delete this module, thank them for the interest in our services. And then what we can very simply do is just ask them to provide some more details. So thank them for their interest. Please ask them to provide their email, and we can help sign them up for an account. Then we'll move on, gather step. Now we're going to specify an email. This is the email of the user. Type, we can do string, outputs required, save. And so we're going to say thank you for the interest. Ask them to provide the email and we'll help them sign up for an account. Do that. We'll then do an API request and we're going to send this off. So we'll add in the gather step, collect the email. This is the email of the user. Get the string, outputs required, hit the plus button, add in an API request. It's very, very similar to how we've done it previously with other builds. All we're doing is then sending information off to any endpoint that we want to. So I'm going to jump over to make.com. This is a blank make.com scenario. And what we can do is use the webhooks module to generate an endpoint to receive information. So I've just created this one here. It's very simple to do. Just click on the create button, give it a name, and it automatically generates a URL for you. We'll hit copy address to clipboard, and we can very simply just paste it in the URL at the top here. And so now it's connected. That's all you need to do. Make sure it's a post request because we are going to be posting off information. And then all we need to do is click on the body tab here. I'm just going to add in a key called email. The value is going to be the variable email because we want to send the email that we've just captured. We don't need to modify description or type or anything like that. We can just hit save, and that is it. That's all we need to do. API request is set up. We can hit save. Coming over here, we can also, hit run once, so it'll start to listen for information. So we can give it a test and see if that works.
Hi, this is John, an AI phone agent from the internet company on a recorded line. Are you a new or existing customer?
Hey, John, I'm a new customer.
Hi there. Thanks for calling. What's your first name?
Brendan.
Thanks, Brendan. What can I help you with today?
I was looking to sign up for a new account.
What specifically would you like assistance with for your account registration?
Just making it, that's all.
Thanks for your interest in our services. Could you provide your email address? I can help you get signed up for an account.
Brendan@inflate.agency. So there you have it. The flow works perfectly, went through and did everything we needed it to. And as you can see here on make.com, we've just received a value for our email that has come through. So value email, and there's obviously the email that I just gave it. Captured that perfectly as well. And there you go. We're able to send an API request as easy as that. So really simple to do. Information comes here. And then what you could do is anything you want. It's make.com, obviously. You can connect this to thousands of apps. Send an email, send a request to create a customer, create an account, do all of that. We can do that very easily through there. Otherwise, you can also obviously send the request directly to the application you're looking to communicate with, but this does make it a whole lot easier on the no code side of things. So very, very simple to get that all set up. So pretty much that is it for Vapi workflows. That's everything you need to know about putting these Vapi workflow agents with the say step to communicate, with the condition step to determine pathways, the gather step to determine what the user said and which pathway to go down, API request to send information. And then we do also have the transfer call and end call options as well. They are very, very simple. So I can just go in here. If we wanted to end the call right after a say step or a condition, we can just hit end call. It just ends the call. You can't do anything from here. It just hangs up. Super, super simple, very basic, very clear. We can then delete that. And then we've also got the transfer call step. Once again, super, super simple. Just click on that. And then you can once again transfer the call from this particular step. It transfers the call. exactly how it does on all the other agent builders, but you can just do it visually and deterministically through a pathway that you've set it to do so. And that's it. Once you've got all of those basics down, we're pretty much just learning how to build structures through conditions. From the conditions, you can set logic. You can do more than two, so we can click on this, and you can do more than two, so we can click on this, click on the plus, say step, and you can have really as much logic as you'd like to be determined from the condition step. And you can create your different pathways, and you can make it very, very deterministic, very conditional, very code-like, and in the term that we're going to be going down one path very strictly or another path very strictly. And so there's many different use cases where this is super helpful, really good for staying away from everything AI, where you don't want it to be too generative. You can get a really good grasp of building out a more scalable system using this method. If you did want to get access to this specific Vapi workflows template, I'll have it linked below in my school community. And I definitely recommend checking out my previous video where I did a complete walkthrough of a $10,000 AI voice agent that we built for a home services company.